Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents You're So Bad by Angela Casella. Narrated by Lou Banks and Wyeth Watts. Chapter 1. Shauna. I swear under my breath as my phone buzzes. It's face up on the coffee table, next to the sweating beer that's waiting for me to finish dessert, so I can already see his name. Coulter Asshole, changed when I was drunk and never updated. Damn it. I'm in my pajamas at 6:40 on a Saturday night, eating a pint of ice cream while watching a bad dating show with my grandmother's corgi. The last person in the world I want to hear from right now is my ex-boyfriend. Shouldn't that be understood? It doesn't help that my grandmother, whom I live with, is gussying herself up for the wrap party for a made-for-TV movie she appeared in. I mean, no girl wants to be outfoxed by her grandmother. Nana was a background actress, an extra, but Constance Murphy has never been the type to blend in. She's even sharper and snappier than she was at 20, I'm sure, and she has the kind of presence and authority that makes people take notice. If I told her that, she'd insist no granddaughter of hers could possibly be a wilting violet either. But I feel like one lately, down to my fading, overgrown purple pixie cut and the zit on my cheek. I'm a little depressed, I guess. That's what happens when your boyfriend leaves you and promptly gets engaged to your best friend. Former best friend. Sighing, I stuff a final spoonful of ice cream into my face and then present Bertie, who's snuggled up next to me, with the remainder of the pint, holding the bottom for him. Vanilla, purchased so I could share, because I am this dog's bitch. Fine by me. I'd rather be his bitch than some man's girlfriend. I shouldn't look, should I ask him. It's just going to piss me off, isn't it? He's nose deep in the pint and clearly could care less. Fantastic. Not only am I talking to a dog, I'm talking to him and he's not listening. Still holding the pint, mostly stationary for Bertie, I lean forward and ditch the spoon in favor of the phone. I unlock it with a finger while paying half attention to the douchebag on the screen. A guy with teeth so white they could probably be seen from space. He's saying something about the dangers of opening his heart to new love, as if it's a real boo-hoo hardship to be presented with multiple hot single women who want to bang him. The show is called Time to Settle Down, and the premise is that Tooth Guy has gotten too old to continue being a playboy. So they're giving him one last hurrah before he has to propose to one of the 10 women living in his temporary harem with him. I dislike you, I say, pointing the phone at him. Bertie grumbles at me because I jostled the pint I'm still holding. I could put it down for him to feast on, but it's cozy having him this close, so I'd prefer for him to stay. Finally, sighing, I look at the phone and read Coulter's message. When do we get to meet him, Bean? I'm tempted to reply that he doesn't get to call me that anymore, and I didn't particularly like it in the first place. But I'm silenced by his next message. A photo that was taken in my basement several weeks ago. It's of my grandmother and one of the much younger friends she made while filming the movie. Leonard has wavy brown hair, slightly too long, and hazel eyes with long lashes. He's tall, muscular, and tattooed, although he really missed the mark in choosing which ones to get, because I knew within 5 minutes of meeting him that trouble should be scrawled right in the middle of his forehead. It's this air he has, like he's always 5 minutes away from making his next mistake or banging someone in the bathroom of a Wendy's. Of course, that would be a mistake for whoever he'd tricked into banging him. The man may be gainfully employed, but he has the air of a vagrant, a hot vagrant, the kind who might trick a single mother into taking him home, only to run off with her. I don't know. People don't really have silverware anymore, do they? Besides, from what little I know about his past, he's the kind of guy who throws grenades and then runs. Not exactly the sort of person you want to hang your hat on. Still, credit where it's due. My grandfather ran off a while back to shack up with his much younger water aerobics instructor girlfriend. When he found out, Leonard offered to take this photo, and a few more, with Nana, so she could pretend she'd attracted a partner even younger and hotter than Grandpa Frank's pretty young thing. Up the photos went on social media, and my grandmother has spent the past several weeks deflecting thirsty questions from everyone she knows. She's loved every minute, but as far as I know, she's declined to explain herself to anyone. Is Coulter trying to get the goods on my grandmother? He's not the type of guy who likes gossip, as a rule. So is this coming from Bianca? Yes, I decide. That tracks. She always did enjoy gossip. It was all fun and games until she turned on me and swooped in on my boyfriend. You'd think 6 years of friendship would have given her pause, but Bianca believes in going for what she wants. That was something I'd admired about her once. Teeth on edge, I mute Mr. Whiny Pants on the TV and type, "What do you mean?" "I'm happy for you. I've always known you'd meet the perfect person when the timing was right." Wait, what? The ice cream container escapes my grip, and Bertie grumbles at me again before inelegantly jumping off the couch, his little corgi legs really no help to him. I fumble with my phone as I try to figure out an appropriate response. Are you under the impression that there's something going on between me and this man?
Very funny, Bean. Your grandmother has been spreading the word. She says he's a great guy. A doctor, huh?
A doctor? That should have been his first clue it was a lie. The only doctors who look like Leonard are strippers in white coats.
You're bringing him to the wedding, I hope. And the Sten party.
Dread washes over me. "Nana?" I shout, my voice unhinged. I get up off the couch. "Nana?"
"For God's sake, child,"
she chides, emerging from the back hallway. Bertie pauses in his ice cream massacre to wag his nub tail at the sight of her. She does look good in her blue sequined gown, her hair swept up in an elegant do. I'd be more appreciative if she hadn't just screwed me over. I shake the phone at her. "Did you tell people that your friend Leonard is my boyfriend?" I hiss. "My doctor boyfriend?" She pales in the way of someone who knows they fucked up.
"Maybe a few,"
she admits.
"I didn't appreciate the way they were talking about you. My friend Marcia said something about it being a pity you didn't drag milquetoast to the altar while you had a chance, and I might have lost it a little. They've all been asking me about the photos, and
You made him a doctor," I say, because I really can't bring enough attention to that point. Who the hell would even believe that?
"Have you met Dr. Rose?" she asks, pretending to fan her face. "He's a smoke show."
I have no idea who she's talking about. Indeed, there's a 50-50 chance she's making it up. So I just scowl at her. "You're evading the point. Coulter knows, Nana. Someone told his mother, and now he wants to meet my boyfriend, the doctor."
"Pediatric surgeon,"
she corrects. But from the way her eyes have widened, I can tell she wasn't expecting her game of telephone to go so far. I continue to scowl at her. Well, he expects my pediatric surgeon boyfriend to come to his wedding, I say through my teeth, and the Sten party. What the hell is a Sten party? She asks, her lips tipping up as if she's prepared to be amused. This is why I haven't told her yet. Normally, I'd laugh with her, because it's truly ridiculous. But my tone is tight as I say, Coulter and Bianca are having their bachelor and bachelorette parties together. They're just that in love. I told you I had something going on next weekend. I wave a hand. It's an all-weekend thing. It's supposed to be fun. I guess a lot of people are going. Including a lot of people I know. People who have given me the cold shoulder for months, as if my bad luck might be catching. If it seems perverse of me to want to go to such a thing, let it be known that I don't want to go. The thought of attending the wedding, and especially the Sten party, makes my stomach turn over. I know Coulter only wants me there to soothe his guilty conscience, so he can keep being seen as a good guy. Bianca is playing a darker game, though, and I'm not going to be the one to tap out. I won't let her rewrite history and make me a victim or a villain. Her lips thin. What on God's green earth prompted you to say you'd do any of this? I stare back at Nana. Maybe the same thing that prompted you to make up such a stupid lie. I didn't want to let them embarrass you. She props a hand on her hip. As if you lost out by not marrying a man who works for his mother. So you decided it would be better for you to embarrass me, I say. Suddenly beyond done with all of it. Don't you think it's going to be worse when I have to tell Coulter that you made it all up? So don't, she insists. I can't think why it would be any of his business in the first place. And if he sees Leonard making out with some other woman in a Wendy's restroom? I'm not sure why the Wendy's thing keeps coming up. I'm not even hungry, although they do have good fries. That seems highly unlikely, Nana sniffs. Milk Toast would never deign to set foot in a fast food restaurant. Shifting tactics, she asks, Why don't you come with me tonight? It'll be fun. Your friends are going to be there. You need to get out more. You mean your friends, I say tightly, although it's not entirely true. Leonard and I may not have formed a beautiful friendship, but I have gotten acquainted with another of my grandmother's movie extra friends, Delia. My friend Rafe is also engaged to Sinclair Jones, the star of the movie, who was Nana's in with the casting director. Sinclair is the one who organized the party tonight. She's also the person who is making my dreams come true. My work dreams, to be clear. It's not a threesome situation. I've been trying to be a full-time clay artist for years now, but I've never made enough money. Up until now, it's always been the second and less well-paying of my jobs. For a long time, Rafe and I worked together as personal trainers, both of us wannabe artists who couldn't make the cut. A good 50% of my clients were men who wanted to watch my ass and my Lycra shorts. But Sinclair's new art collective, The Waiting Place, is paying me a modest salary for teaching. Started paying me last month, in fact, even though it's September and we don't open until October 1st. That, in addition to what I'll get from selling my art there, will mostly pay my bills. Same for Rafe, although realistically, he won't have to worry about the bills much now that he's marrying a movie star. Quitting the gym was a banner moment, but it happened a few weeks ago, so I've already burned off the high. I'm wearing novelty pajama shorts, I object. You can change, she shrugs. Or not. Pretend it's a fashion statement. For God's sake, it probably is.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if... Just go, Nana, I say, suddenly exhausted. Have fun. I lift a finger. But don't you dare tell Leonard about any of this. He'd find some way to twist it to his advantage. She clucks her tongue. You've got that boy all wrong. The only reason he posed for those photos with you was because he liked the thought of causing trouble. He admitted as much. To be fair, I thought it was fun too, right up until I got a text about my pediatric surgeon lover. Did you give him a different name? I ask. I felt it was best to stick as close to the truth as possible. She says it with a straight face, as if she hadn't promoted him from being a construction worker to a pediatric surgeon. So I'm madly in love with Leonard, the pediatric surgeon? I ask, groaning as I consider what to tell Coulter. Is Nana right? Is it possible I don't have to correct the story? I can tell him Leonard's out of town or working for a Doctors Without Borders office in Mozambique or something. It sounds like a fake excuse, but better that than admit he's fake. I don't want to leave you like this, Nana says worriedly, sharing prolonged eye contact with Bertie as if they're both worried about me and are working out a strategy for my betterment. I'd prefer it if you did. I'm going to be pissed about this for at least 24 hours. Possibly 24 years, depending on the fallout. She nods slowly. That's fair. I'm still going to hug you, though. Sighing, I walk into her open arms and breathe in her perfume, a different scent than the one she wore for 50-some-odd years, because after my grandfather left, she declared she was embracing new beginnings. At the time, I figured that was just the kind of shit people say after something bad happens, but she's held to it. When Rafe's fiancé said they were looking for extras for her film, Nana was first in line, and then she learned crocheting from a YouTube video and started making sweaters for Bertie. Finally, the cherry on top, the 3 30-something friends she made on the movie set, Delia, her boyfriend Lucas Burke, and Burke's friend Leonard. My grandmother's switching things up from her perfume to her social life, and I'm stuck in a rut. If anything, I'm digging my way in deeper. Nana swats me on the ass. You need to be a little bad for a change. Not the party line you gave me when I was a kid, I tell her as I retreat to the sofa. Bertie, the little traitor, trails her to the door. Have fun, Nana. I'm still pissed, but I don't like the worried look in her eyes as she glances back at me. It's been there for months because of my grandfather, and now it's back because of me. Maybe it never really went away. I feel the need to point out that my career is going great for the first time ever, I call out as she leaves and shuts the door behind her. She doesn't dignify that with a response, so I slump back into the cushions and turn on the volume. Whiny Pants is now making out with someone on the beach. Maybe it was the teeth that did it for him. Come to Mama, I say, and grab the beer waiting for me on the table. It's starting to feel like a 2-beer kind of night. Maybe 3. I'm near the bottom of it when a knock lands on the door. Bertie stirs to attention in the dog bed he settled onto after Nana left, then darts toward the door, suddenly barking up a racket. I follow him, feeling cautious suddenly, because Bertie doesn't typically bark at people. There is a life alert in this house, I call out as I make my approach, and I'm not afraid to use it. Then I look through the peephole, and the air whistles out of me. It's him.
Leonard's wearing a button-down shirt that covers all of his tattoos, but nothing conceals the mischief in his hazel eyes or the chaos of his always messy hair. Still, this is the closest to looking like a doctor he's ever going to get.
"No need to use the life alert,"
he says through the door.
"I'm a pediatric surgeon."
I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I definitely shouldn't open the door.
Chapter 2. Leonard. I probably shouldn't be here. Maybe that's exactly why I came. I've been good lately, doing and saying what I should. Sometimes it feels like a pair of too tight boxer briefs strangling my balls. 10 minutes ago, I was in a very sweet vintage Rolls Royce on the way to a wrap party for the movie in which I was human scenery. I was with my buddy Burke and his girl, Delia. Both of them dressed to the nines, Burke in a tux and Delia in one of her colorful dresses you can't look at too long if you want to keep your eyes working right. I was feeling pretty fly because I was dressed in pants that didn't have a single hole in them, and I'd convinced the driver of the car to let me have a turn behind the wheel. There's nothing that makes my blood sing quite as much as doing something I'm not supposed to. The driver, a geezer with a huge mustache, had moved over to the passenger seat. He had all the marks of someone who was feeling regret. But hey, he'd agreed. When we picked up Constance, I could tell something was off with her. Normally, she would have shit herself over being in a car like that, same as me. But she barely said 2 words. Then, a couple of streetlights later, she confessed to the whole shebang about Shauna and the photo. And I nearly wrecked the car. Here's the truth. I got a thing for Constance's granddaughter. Shauna's small, but athletic and curvy, with short purple hair and an attitude that makes her 10 times as sexy. Then there's her art. She's a clay artist, and most of the bowls, mugs, and vases she makes are monsters. They have sharp teeth, tentacles for hair, you name it. They're cool as hell. And the fact that monsters live inside that pretty little pint-sized woman interests me. And I'd just been hand-delivered an excuse to spend time with her. Nothing can happen between us, of course. I might have started talking to Constance on the movie set out of boredom, but she's become important to me. Important enough that I don't want to fuck up our friendship to see if her granddaughter tastes as good as she looks. Not that I'd be offered the chance. This thing I've got for Shauna isn't mutual. If anything, she's taken a dislike to me. It seems like she has a smart reply to everything I have to say. And a judging gaze. That's always on me. Still, I wouldn't mind getting to know her better, even if it's as bad of an idea as it was for that driver to let me take a turn behind the wheel. Speaking of him, he shrieked, "Pull over now, sir!" and then threw us out as soon as I'd parked at the curb. Once we'd all filed out in our finery, he shouted, "You'll never rent from us again," which we all agreed was fair. I don't like it when people mess with my toys either, and it was a very nice car. Burke said he'd grab us an Uber, but from the way he was eyeing me, he already knew what my next move would be. He let me stew on it, though. My buddy was raised by a couple of rich assholes, so he can be pushy as hell, but he knows what makes people tick. Getting bossed around doesn't do it for me, so he doesn't try it all that often. Still, he wasn't surprised when I announced I was bouncing on the wrap party, on account of I had to go see my girlfriend. "Say hello to Shauna for us before she knees you in the balls," he said with a smirk, wrapping his arms around his girl. "Oh, she wouldn't do that," Delia said, because she is both sweet and naive. I have every expectation that Shauna might punch me if she opens that door. She certainly won't be rolling out the red carpet. "I can't say I'm sorry for any of it," Constance said as a group of tourists pushed past us, arguing about directions. They were wrong, but I felt no need to say so. "Nobody thought you would be," I said. She shrugged, looking delighted with herself. And Delia and Burke shared this knowing glance you only see between two people who've been foolish enough to fall in love. "Stop it with the lovesick glances," I said. I got a weak gag reflex. "Yes, me too," Constance added. "All of this pecking and mooning is all very good when you're young and everyone's pretty, but wait until you're in your 80s and everything sags." "Good God, Constance," I said, giving her arm a gentle shove. I just got done saying that thing about the weak gag reflex." She laughed wickedly. "Tormenting you makes me feel young again." A woman walking by with a stroller gave us a worried look. She thought our crazy might be catching. When I saluted her, she nearly broke into a run. Burke rolled his eyes at us, although he should have been used to us carrying on. It's what we did the whole time we were on that movie set. There's not much fun to be had when you're told to sit or stand places like you're a potted plant. So Constance and I made our own fun. "We weren't mooning over each other," Burke objected. "We had a feeling something like this would happen." "What, that Constance would send a photo of me around to her friends and say I'm Shauna's pediatric surgeon boyfriend?" I asked. "That's a very specific thing to have foreseen. Maybe you should bail out on L&L Restoration and start a phone psychic business." L&L Restoration is the house-flipping business that Burke and I are running. To be clear, he's the one with the bones and business smarts to get this ball rolling. I'm as broke as the day I was born, and if I had any business sense, I'd have a bank account with a few zeros in the balance. I didn't ask Burke to put that kind of trust in me, and part of me didn't want him to. It's a burden, someone else's trust, especially when you have to bust your ass to be worthy of it. At the same time, he's given me a chance to make something of myself. I can't throw that away, even if, sometimes in the middle of the night, I wake up wanting to pack a bag and drive off to somewhere where no one is dumb enough to give me responsibilities. "A psychic thing sounds like fun," Delia said. "Maybe it could be a side hustle." "Look at you making jokes." I grinned at her, pleased as punch. "I'm rubbing it off on you." "Yeah, probably for the best if you take an Uber away from here so we can make sure that stops," Burke said. So that's exactly what happened. They went on their merry way to the party, and I headed over here to talk to Shauna. I found myself whistling in my Uber because Constance had just given me the best gift possible, an excuse to get into trouble and pretend I was only doing it as a favor. Maybe she'd known I'd react this way. She's a wily one, my friend. That's what brought me to this moment, standing at Shauna's door, reporting for fake boyfriend duty. When the door swings open, I can feel a grin stretching my face. Shauna looks like she just crawled out of bed. She's wearing boxers decorated with characters from a cartoon that got canceled when we were kids, and a t-shirt that very obviously doesn't have a bra under it. Hallelujah. The sight of her beaded nipples through her shirt is better than a shot of fine whiskey. "Did you convince Nana to do this, Leonard?" she asks through her teeth. Forcing my gaze away from those pretty points is hard enough that someone should give me a medal for it. But I meet her glare and grin. Lifting my hands up, palms out, I say, "Hell no. If I'd come up with it, I would have given myself a cooler job." "This is a disaster," she mutters. "Probably," I agree. Her pint-sized dog ambles up and settles at her feet, giving me the evil eye. I've always had a thing for dogs. Never got another one after I lost my girl Gidget, but that doesn't mean I don't like 'em. Dogs don't truck in bullshit. A dog likes you, you know it. A dog hates you, you know it. There's something to be said for that. Unfortunately, this particular dog hates me. Maybe he's right to. If Shauna weren't Constance's granddaughter, and I didn't like Constance more than I do the majority of people, then I already would have tried to fuck her. "You gonna invite me in?" She snorts and puts a hand on her hip. "No. We can talk out here on the porch." "You aren't concerned about your neighbors overhearing?" She glances pointedly at the empty porches around us. There's something wrong about an empty porch in the thick of summer, like a hand that's gone unshaken. "You never know when people are listening," I say. "Why, this one time—" "I'm having a beer," she blurts. "Do you want a beer?" "I'll never answer that question with a no," I say, parking myself in one of the 2 rocking chairs on her porch. It's pretty nice out here, and I can't say I regret missing the wrap party for the movie. Not when the alternative is porch sitting with a beer and a sexy woman. Sure, she has no more regard for me than her dog does, but it's not off-putting. I've always had a thing for smart women who can see right through me. Shauna disappears through the door, muttering to herself, and I swear to Christ that little dog growls at me when he catches me watching her ass disappear into the house. "I come in peace," I mutter, then get to rocking. He must decide it would be too much trouble to try to nab me in the balls because he disappears into the house through the open door. A minute or so later, Shauna comes out solo with 2 cold ones and shuts the door behind.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?